The following program is a Town of Colonie television production of the William K. Sanford Town Library. Welcome to The Money Factor. I'm Richard Naylor, your host. The program focuses on issues from both a business and a consumer point of view, as well as on personal finance topics. We'll welcome guests from local organizations and companies to shed light on a wide variety of money-related factors. Did you know that each year in the United States, 600 to 800,000 new businesses are started, and that about 80% of them fail for reasons beyond their owner's control? How can these failures be prevented? Today's guest is William Brigham, Director of the Small Business Development Center at UAlbany, who can shed some light on the problem. Let's go join him. Probably good enough.
Hi, nice to see you.
It's great to have you on the show.
Yes, it's a pleasure to be here because venues like this are opportunities for us to get out to the public and really tell people what we do. So I appreciate being here.
Well, we really appreciate you being here. It may be that when someone really cares about something, they thank everybody else for helping them do it, but that's a really good sign for the organization, I think.
Oh, I think so. We're really here to make New York businesses successful, period. You know? And really, with any means that we have at our disposal, any tools we have to help entrepreneurs through the maze of acronyms and organizations, etc. You know, it's confusing, and we try to boil that down a little bit.
Before we get started, let's tell people a little more about who you are.
Very good.
You've got a lot of experience. You've been in private business. You've worked for government agencies, so you know both sides.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
You've been at the SUNY campus.
Yes.
Small Business Development
Center.
Center.
Yes.
For 7 years.
Yes.
And before that, you're going to have to help me here because
right.
That was a difficult one. You were. Could you tell us what that other one was?
Sure. The other one was a Small Business Development Center that just focused on manufacturing. What we did is actually we had a SWAT team that traveled around the state to work with family businesses that were in trouble. So it was really a lot of fun. I'm a marketing guy, and you go into some of these family businesses that are stagnant. You just want to shake them and let's go, you know. So it was a challenge and a lot of fun.
Fantastic.
Yes.
When it said SWAT team, you can imagine I was a little thrown. I didn't know how to say that.
Yeah, you know, it was a marketing guy, a director, a finance guy, and
okay.
You know, we'd go in to look at, you know, the various facets of the company and troubleshoot where the problems are and make recommendations and try to give them the information they need to make decisions, which all small businesses need.
That sounds like a really good development base for what you're doing now.
It was great, and it kind of corresponded to my manufacturing background, which it seemed like deja vu every time I went into another business because the names changed but the people were the same. You know? So it was really a lot of fun.
What exactly does the Small Business Development Center do? Because obviously you can't come in and run the business.
That's exactly right. We offer no-cost counseling to startup and existing businesses. It's technical assistance to that entails business planning, financial projections, financial analysis. We offer market research. You know, all those things that a business really needs to move forward. Too many businesses don't plan, and really they're lucky if they're still in business because they're shooting off the hip. They really don't have focus on the future, where they're going, where they want to go.
I had quoted in the beginning 600 to 800,000 businesses in the U.S. that start every year, And 80%, which I think is a conservative number based on the fact that some people just close or sell them, 80% are not around and actually fail.
Exactly. I read a stat today. 66% are in business after 2 years, 44% after 4 years. So, you know, the statistics are really set against a business being successful. That's why they've got to do everything they can possibly do and know their business and do it right to be there. What we do is, actually we're at the Harriman campus, the state office campus. We're in a small business incubator there. It's 45,000 square feet of incubator space that businesses will be coming in that have some relationship with the university. And what we'll do is we actually anchor the incubator and help the businesses within it and provide services that they need and really pull them along until they're ready to graduate out of that environment. So that's new since December, and it's very exciting for us. We have more office space now. We have computer terminals for our clients to use, business software, a training room, things like that. So it's really worked out great. I'm also part of the School of Business at the University at Albany. I do help out teaching a course on e-commerce. It's great to work with the students. They develop e-commerce business plans, and they're sensational.
So you really focus on the startup aspects, just like you do in your day, what should we call it, your real life? Or
I guess you could call that my real life. Yeah, you know, although it takes that e-commerce aspect to more focus, and you know, e-commerce is where things are really going, and people have to understand that and think about that when they're going into business.
How are they going to integrate with what's going on?
Oh, exactly. You know, are you going to be brick and mortar, or are you going to be on that? Because once you put up a website, you're selling internationally.
Now, if we want to think marketing-wise, we want to think about our target market here that we're trying to reach today. I guess we could do that.
Very good. Great point.
Now, who out there would you really want to see the program?
Okay. Any existing business should come and see us. Typically, we see businesses when they're in trouble. Mm-hmm. We really would like to see them when they're doing well, and you know, where are they going to transition next? We have a great 4-person library at our headquarters, and what they do is they feed our 23 center network with market research. Really, that pertains to the industry they're in, competition, anything that they don't know that they should know.
Now, every business, that's a lot of businesses.
Yes, it is, and you know, that's why we see about 1,000 people a year.
Pretty impressive.
Yes, it is, and a lot of it's startup, a lot of it's existing. What really happens is a person will call our office, they'll set up an appointment, they'll come in and sit down with one of our business advisors. We have a staff of 9 people, and they actually coach them all the way through the process.
To do a business plan if they don't have one, to...
Exactly, you know, or they'll come in existing business with a marketing problem. What am I not doing that I could be doing, and so on. So it is a lot of the types of services that we render are quite diverse in that sense, because it is a cookie cutter, but it isn't. You know, we do have a specific process that we like to put people through to develop the business plan.
So if somebody is going to contact you before they have a problem, I would think the most likely time they're going to do that is before they actually even set up their business.
Oh, exactly. You know, and that's the whole thing with any type of startup or existing business. You know, I like the analogy of getting in a car and knowing where you're going. You know, you really have to know how to get from point A to B
And if you don't know
before you start the call.
And if you don't know where you're going, that's impossible.
Exactly. And, you know, also the other people in the organization, you know, where are they marching to? What do they understand the goals and expectations of the organization? So
I had pictured, up until now, a one-person business, somebody with an idea. What you just said gives me the idea that you do talk to groups of people who are starting businesses as well.
We certainly do. Probably the profile of our clients is probably 5 employees average, in that range. You know, they are small businesses that really are having a little difficulty getting beyond where they are right now. I've always thought the $2 million in revenues mark was a tough one to get beyond. And, you know, we see a lot of that. But then again, we see the one-persons, the people that want to start a restaurant or salon, and then technology firms. You know, I like to say that we go from pizza to aerospace, and that's pretty much the extent of it. So,
are there different types of businesses that are more likely to be contacting you, and are there types of businesses that really should be
that's a great
more
question.
likely
That's
to
a great question
contact you?
because unfortunately, businesses come to us when they need money.
Okay.
And they don't think about the plan prior to that. That's one good thing is any lender requires a business plan before they'll even talk to a small business. So, you know, what we really are able to do is get them into, it's really a process, you know. What is the description of your business? Who's your competition? What location are you looking at? Experience, management. How much money do you need? What are your projected sales over the first 12 months? Those are all questions that we want to help them answer.
How many people come in with what you would say a lot of answers to those questions?
Everybody has it in their head. The business plan is in their head, but they can't get it on paper. You know, a lot of people think that a business plan has to be a 30-page document, this great, beautiful thing.
Okay.
We keep it basic. That's all it really needs to be. Let's just answer the questions and not steer into other areas. Let's focus on what you're doing, what you want to do. Get it out of your head. Once you get it on paper, the process starts. All of a sudden, you're taking a shower the next day and you think, oh, I could do that differently. Why don't I change that? And it just builds and builds and builds. So, you know, it's a great exercise for anybody to go through.
Is there a personality issue here? I know we're not in psychology right now, but the person who's likely to sit down and write a 30-page document doesn't seem like the person likely to decide they're going to open a business.
You're exactly, and that's the thing is, you know, we even see that with some of the technical people we see. You know, they're great with the technology, but when it comes down to the business basics, we've got to help them find ways to train or courses and for them to learn that, because I see a business in 3 facets: human resources, your finance, and your sales and marketing. If any one of those areas is off kilter, the business is going to suffer. So you really have to have the strong base in order to operate a good business.
Do you find that people come to you with a product idea? That's where it all starts. I want to open a restaurant. I have an invention, some other clever idea for our business, delivering something to people who've never had something delivered to them, but they don't have the other 3 parts.
Sure. You know, first of all, you mentioned personality. I always think of patience, persistence. Those are 2 things that are very important. The one thing I really stress is tenacity. I think that is the key word. Are you willing to, you know, walk that line of being rejected or not, or embarrassed or not? You know, that's what you have to do is put yourself out there, and for the business sake. You know, and different types of businesses. Yeah, we do have the people that come in with a plan already. And we'll review it, edit, make changes. We'll have the 30-pager. But most people don't have really anything on paper. And, you know, that's what we are. We facilitate that process. We don't write business plans.
Okay.
We don't want to. They know their business hopefully better than we do. But we'll walk them through it. They'll come back for follow-up meetings. They call our advisors anytime, any day. So it's really a give and take, one-to-one really counseling. We do some online counseling, but I really like the one-on-one because you really develop a sense of relationship and really there is some type of bond created between the advisor and the small business.
And I would think when the stakes are not high, let's say you're in a business class and you're going to make a mistake, okay, you get a bad grade on the test. We're not talking about that. We're talking about somebody borrowing more money than they maybe can afford or trying to.
Perfect example of that. There was a gentleman that was starting an amusement center, came into our office and went mumbling out of it, saying, oh, they just gave me an assignment to write a business plan. They didn't give me one or write it, and to heck with them. I'm taking my pension money, and I'm going to start the business.
Wow.
Well, 6 months later, he comes back, and he's got a problem. He's
two
got
problems.
Yeah, two problems. But first of all, the location was flawed.
Mm.
He put the amusement center behind a building where you couldn't see it. Second, he didn't put in a real quality center. So once people went there, they wouldn't go back. And, you know, these are all things we can't undo at that point, which at the front end, we could have seen what was going on and made him think about those problems before they start. And, you know, that's what I really hate to see. People going in blind and thinking business is easy. You know, it's 60-hour weeks, commitment from your family. It's not easy.
How do you balance? It seems like a really fine line. You want them to succeed. You want to be enthusiastic. You don't want to be throwing cold water on somebody's ideas. On the other hand, you may think that this is a lousy idea, or you just might think, I have a lot of doubts that this is going to work.
Oh, we have to tell them that. Yeah, you know, because, or if there's, you know, if the market is saturated with so many of these types of businesses, you know, you've got to look at, you know, where's the demand? Is there room for another business in there? And, you know, we see that a lot. Probably the toughest type of people are inventors to work with, because this is their heart and soul, and they really don't want to hear anybody say that it's not good.
Or even to change anything.
You know, my whole family loves peanut butter and anchovies, but other people really don't.
Right.
And you know, and that's the mindset they have, that it's going to work, and they'll get a patent, and then go see if they can market the product. And there is they really have to do the market research prior to really jumping into it, and we try to slow them down a little bit. But the inventors, it's in their blood. If they don't try it, it's going to haunt them forever.
So we're back to personality again.
Exactly. So, and a lot of times, a business will go through the financial projections and look at how much money they're going to need first off, and project what type of sales they're going to have to do for the first 12 months. Well, okay, losing money the first 3 months is okay, but what's going to happen beyond that? And I think the numbers often talk to people and tell people that it's not a good idea. it's not something you should really try. So.
We have some interesting models. The Cheesecake Factory just opened. And obviously in this case, it wasn't a question of building up your clientele. There are plenty of people who want to go to the Cheesecake Factory right now. Some of these businesses, though, especially if they're behind a large office building, are going to be really in need of publicity, promotion. Is there anything you can do to help?
The whole thing is, yes, you have a large franchise coming into the market. Therefore, you have to differentiate. What is unique about your business? What is it that really people want to know about you? I use the term unique selling proposition. What is the tagline that you want people to know? I'm a plumber. I've been in business 20 years and I 24-hour service. Oh,
Right.
You have to really hit home with that unique part of your business. Franchises are great, but independents can be better if they look at the environment, the market, and how can they be different and offer people what they're not getting.
And be willing to be tenacious and work how many hours a week?
At least
80,
at least 60 anyway.
60?
And sometimes people think going into business it's glamorous. I'm going to get a company car. No, it doesn't. It doesn't start that way, and it really takes a lot of nurturing and hard work. So.
Have you seen any changes in what kind of people are coming or what kind of businesses are being successful?
I don't know if I'd call it changes. We are seeing more technology companies, which, yes, is a very good thing. But I think what people have to understand, though, is, as this region, which it's going to, with all the new developments, they're going to be bringing people into the region.
Okay.
So the whole infrastructure is affected. These people are going to need restaurants. They're going to need corner stores. They're going to need a small business infrastructure in order to support more people. So it really trickles down all the way through the business community. You bring technology-based people in, they've got expendable income. How can I get a piece of that?
Right.
And it's going to create an awful lot of opportunity.
What kind of percentage do you see? You mentioned that you're in an incubator.
Mm-hmm.
I would think most of the companies in an incubator are developing a business, not in the sense of developing traffic,
Right.
actually developing their products.
Correct.
Those would be fun to see, I would imagine, but you're going to see a range of people, now you're saying, all over the spectrum.
Oh, exactly. And, that's, we can't be short-sighted as far as looking at the region, and because it will affect us all, I think, in a good way. Look what it will do to the housing market.
And that needs a little help.
And then the housing market. How is that going to affect the floor finishers, and how is that going to affect the carpenters and the repair people? And it just really starts snowballing and affects everyone.
But is it a problem that we look at what's happening in the newspaper, and in the newspaper we get a $40 billion investment from AMD or XYZ, maybe something to come. But that's not going to really be of an impact yet on a local business. But it makes us excited, and we want to do something.
Yes.
How should somebody think about the timing here?
Well, that's the big question. How long is it going to take? We're probably looking 10 years out. We may be looking at our children having that business. It's not going to happen overnight, and it won't. You mentioned the money that the state offered to AMD. You have to be competitive. We get so many people. Our phone rings constantly about grants for small business.
Okay.
There are no grants typically for small business. There's a perception out there. There's people that do commercials about free money from the government or things like that. There's actually a program that people pay $600 and they give them a list of these resources. Well, we're one of those resources. There's a lot of grant schemes out there, and you hate to see people spending their hard-earned money that they really need to pump into the startup than going that route. There is a grant program for the disabled, and there is the high-tech grants. But
right.
Beyond that, a for-profit business, if you give money to XY restaurant, you're going to have to give it to all the other restaurants in that area. So,
right.
Where does it end? So it doesn't start. And that's one thing that people can understand, because there's that perception. And when we tell them there aren't any grants, they get furious with us.
What am I calling you for? I want money.
Yeah, exactly. So that's definitely a problem.
And yet, if you help them get a loan,
that's right. And the loan is lenders are very aggressive in this region for small business.
And that could be good and bad.
Yes, it can. I think it's great.
Okay.
Because of the fact that we can bring people to the right lenders and give them the best opportunity, the best rate, or really a bank that they can trust will work with them.
That also suggests to me that it's more important than ever then that people contact an organization like yours to make sure that an aggressive bank isn't doing them a disfavor rather than a favor. Not that it's a favor.
But you're exactly right. What I've always said is, when somebody comes through our doors, it opens other doors, and that's so true. We don't do everything, We do a great job with helping people with business plans and marketing and financial analysis, but there's other technical assistance providers that will do other things that we need to get these people to. There's the ABC's alphabet soup of acronyms, and that's confusing for any small business, and
right.
that's what we really break down for people. It takes about a year to really get down the acronyms. You can't study them or remember them. It's through osmosis that all of a sudden
it would be an alphabet soup.
Yeah, it is, and people really need help getting to the right resources, whether it's the SBA or SCORE or SBDC
or
pardon me,
or the Capital District or the Small Business Development Center.
Yeah, and that's really important for people to know.
How can they reach you?
They can just call our office.
We can put a phone number
That'll
up on
be
the
great.
screen.
It's 485-7647. Also, we have a website that's www.nyssbdc.org, and it actually has
We'll put that up. It's a little
has
long.
all 23 centers statewide that are kind. We're doing the same thing, in each region. My office, we cover 11 counties. It's a pretty vast region. And what we do is we have a lot of outreach offices in those outlying areas to get to the people. You need to be in the community to serve the community.
I hope this helps.
Yes, it will.
We're just about out of time, and
do
have time to thank you. I very, very, very much enjoyed our conversation,
yes.
and hope that a lot of people see the show and give you a call and
I
raise
sure
that 1,000 number to what? 1,100 or
1,200 would be good.
Okay.
We're always stretch goals. So.
Thank you for watching, and we hope that you tune in for the next edition of The Money Factor. Have a great day.